Last weekend, basically every tech and media CEO that you can think of gathered in Sun Valley, Idaho for Billionaire Summer Camp, aka investment firm Allen and Co.'s annual conference.
And it's literally a stereotype of what you think of when you think like tech billionaire conference. Apparently, 175 private jets touched down last week for this private, secretive luxury retreat.
And during the day, the conference attendees participate in classic camp activities like golfing, hiking, and river rafting.
Just like imagine all these like stuffy CEOs like flopping around in a river raft together. And the guest list is pretty insane. Like it's not just a few tech moguls, it is literally everyone.
No, we seriously need to read the list so you can grasp how many we're talking about. So Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Sam Altman, Tim Cook, Alex Karp, Michael Bloomberg, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Disney CEO Bob Iger.
Yeah, CEOs of Uber, Airbnb, Google, Spotify, Snapchat, YouTube, Mattel, Netflix, Sony, even the King of Jordan was seen there like making deals with everyone.
Yeah, the only billionaire CEO that wasn't there was Elon, but he must have been busy starting up his America party.
And then there were some like high profile journalists there, like Anderson Cooper, Gail King, and Diane Sawyer, but it was a media blackout. Everything was very top secret. So even they weren't allowed to report on what they found.
Yeah, so many huge mergers and acquisitions have started at this retreat, like Disney acquiring ABC, AOL Time Warner merger, even Jeff Bezos purchasing the Washington Post, Comcast, NBC Universal, Yahoo, Verizon, and so many more.
And this closed door conference has, I guess, been a thing since 1983, but it is making a lot of like extra noise and enraging a lot of people this year, probably because it feels kind of tone deaf against a very politically polarized backdrop. Like, think of all of the anti-billionaire sentiment we're seeing with like the Bezos wedding and even the New York City mayoral race.
Do you see all the dark humor comments like, I wish the flooding hit Idaho, or Iran, you have the chance to do the funniest thing ever? And some people just flat out posted bomb memes.
I don't know, like everyone is really pissed off by this conference. And even though most of what was talked about was under wraps, we did learn that the main focus this year was AI. So a CEO said it was, quote, the 1,000-pound gorilla in every conversation and in every meeting.
And that comment was one of the only things we've seen any attendee say publicly. But a lot of journalists just flew to Sun Valley hoping to catch these CEOs on their way to their morning activity.
One of them was James Franey, a writer for the New York Post. And he has a very interesting story of him just like sitting at a cafe, kind of like reporting, minding his own business, when two police officers like approached him and accused him of harassing guests. He was then asked to sign a no trespass order, which basically bans him from entering Sun Valley for a year, which he refused to sign. So we hear the full story and more details on the conference from James.
Okay, so James, for those of us who are not billionaires or moguls and have never gone to this conference, can you set the scene for us? Like when you touched down in Sun Valley, what was it like? What's the vibe? Who did you see?
So the whole event itself is described as summer camp for billionaires, and of course, as I found out, to my cost, that comes with that very high security. So it's actually very hard to get a glimpse of the VIPs that are arriving. Very, very five-star resort that was once frequented by the author Ernest Hemingway when he was finishing For Whom the Bell Tolls. When you're a member of the media, you're not really getting close to those in power with all the money, as I found out.
And did you get any scoops on like kind of what the focus of the conference was on this year? Like what was everyone kind of just talking about?
So, I mean, the headline topic was, of course, the impact of AI on the finance, tech, and media industries. Probably not going to be the year that I win the Pulitzer in terms of investigative journalism. Many of the reporters on site really struggled to get any headlines at all. Simply, if the executives don't want to talk to you, you're not going to get much in the way of news. We got one interview with Sam Altman. That was it.
Whoa. And do we know anything about what they're, like you said, maybe some leaks of the daily schedules? Like what activities do they do in Sun Valley?
So, I mean, after I got booted out and banned for a year, I managed to get hold of a couple of agendas from the Friday and Saturday. And I can't help thinking that maybe we don't need to believe the hype about this conference being the epicenter of M&A deals that it's sometimes made out to be.
Okay.
Basically, back-to-back sporting activities, so cycling, horse riding, even an hour of a knitting session at the Sun Valley Resort. So I think it's an open question as to how much work is actually getting done. It's more of a boondoggle for billionaires who just want to catch up with old friends away from the glaze of the world's media.
Wow. So did you like happen to see any of that? Did you see billionaires kind of just like hanging out together and just casually talking?
Right, so there's a on site. There's this Austrian themed cafe. You can see a lot of them on their coffee runs in the morning. Mike Bloomberg was there. Ivanka Trump, Alex von Forstenberg, son of Diane. They were hanging out there on my final day at the conference. So that's obviously one of the exclusives I was chasing, given how little else was happening on the day, just to see how people were tipping and if they were treating the baristas fairly. I think that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back in the end. But yeah, that's where you could do most of the quote unquote star watching, as it were.
Well, you did write an article about the over the top kind of reporter crackdown at this conference. You were actually confronted by police officers at this Austrian cafe. Can you tell us what happened?
Right. So, as you may have read in one particular newsletter, they reported that it was because we're basically asking questions of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Ivanka Trump. These questions were fairly innocuous, but both subjects didn't really have much of an issue with it. I think what might have been the thing that annoyed security, and particularly the staffers at the cafes that I was going around, like looking at basically the checks on the tables to see how much everyone had been tipping. And yeah, I asked very directly to the managers, tell us how much Ivanka tipped, what did she order? I mean, we really were scraping the deepest, darkest depths of the breaking news barrel. I guess I won't be going back next year.
But you did speak to Ivanka and Scott Bessent, right? Did they say anything?
Yeah, I mean, Secretary Bessent, he is incredibly polite, incredibly good at deflecting. So he did give me the groundbreaking scoop that his speech would be, quote, America first. My, my particular question to Ivanka Trump, I want to know what's going on with the talks with regards to the Waldorf Astoria in Washington, D.C. We understand that talks are still ongoing with regards to rebranding that hotel as a Trump hotel, simply because business has dropped off since he sold it approximately 5 years ago.
Can you help us understand just like how much security was there? Was it just impossible to talk to anyone? Like you seemed like you were being monitored constantly.
I think, as I described it in the first draft of my column, I described it as Stasi style security. For those who don't know, that's the former East German secret police. You were being constantly watched, not by the Secret Service, I may add, but by the hired rent-a-cops who were employed by Allen and Co. For the duration of that conference. I'd acquired some photos of Ivanka which hadn't gone down particularly well, and the security were actually whizzing around on bikes, telling ordinary members of the public to stop taking pictures of the VIPs.
Oh my God.
It really got that nuts.
And so you keep saying you can't go back next year. Did you sign the order? Because we read in your piece that you refused to sign it. So how could they make you not come back?
Good question. I don't know if that will be enforced completely strictly, let's say. I don't know if they'll recognize me next year. Maybe I'll have to go in disguise with some glasses and a big sombrero or something.
Yeah.
They put this no trespass order under my nose before I was shuffled out by the Sun Valley police. Obviously refused to sign because I don't think I did anything wrong.
And so there's some conflicting reports that we've read about the resort and lodge itself. Like some reports say it's this luxury property, and others say it's basically like a Holiday Inn and it's only a 4-star hotel. Can you verify which one it is?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's writing that it's a Holiday Inn because I don't know about your standards, but growing up in England, I would find a $648 dollar bottle of champagne to be pretty luxury, to be honest. I don't think I've ever bought a bottle of wine that expensive. And I do like my wine.
And is this your first time covering the conference, or you've done it before?
First and last.
First and last, oh no.